Hello and welcome to the second day of the Glass Academy faculty training program in association with Glass Academy and ASIC. We're going to talk about glass and design of facades with architect Ashtul Shah, founder of Access Architects. We will learn about structural glass, types of glazing, criteria for facades, especially for a tropical climate like ours. Architect Atul Shah established the architectural design firm Access Architects, which is an award-winning architecture, planning, interior, and graphic design firm with its headquarters in Mumbai, India. In 1982, the company believes in India-inspired design, and hence they design and execute traditional as well as modern architecture. So over to you, Architect Atul, to dazzle us with your presentation.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate giving me this opportunity to showcase what we have been doing and also to try and explain the process which we follow. I, on the outset, would really like to salute all the people in the area which is helping us in COVID. So that's first, and people who are serving us substantially. Also, I genuinely want to salute the faculty member through whom we have learned something which we are trying to inculcate in whatever we are doing. So heads off to all the faculty, the amount of effort which they are doing. Salute to them too. Our basic goal is to try and ensure that make the buildings design in such a way that you are able to follow specific processes to try and get things in a manner which would make a lot of difference. One of the major difference what we try and do is what we are trying to show. All the difference which we are doing is related to buildings which is specifically designed for our climate. This is the building which we had designed, which is in heart of Mumbai and which is at Dadar. It's a 185-meter tall office building, which was designed and executed 10 years back, 7 years back. The difference which we try and make is particularly in the facade, what we have done. So I will just take you through the process which we followed in designing the basic facade. Now, we have generated few options in terms of the tower. The tower in the outline in the center was selected by the clients. So what we did was design the building with a central core with a 50 feet office both the side. North is on the top. So we had a north wing facing the whole facade, which allowed light to penetrate right up to the service core. The intent was to try and ensure that you have maximum efficiency built in for the area which is covered for the offices with an atrium in the center. So what we had done was to follow a climate analysis for the office building, particularly for the glass facade. What we did was create specifically for this project and for Mumbai, looked at all the various parameters of temperature, humidity, the cloud cover, rain density, wind speed. Now, all these were looked at in terms of design aspects and also the wind direction. So since it was 185-meter tall building, wind and its velocity, direction and velocity was critical. in terms of design aspect. Also, the sun path and the other criterias of temperature which we had looked at. So if you look at the comfort percentage of natural ventilation, which was also looked at in terms of the building location and design. And here one thing which I would like to point out specifically was related to the direction of the building. Now, generally, everybody says you face north and south, it is ideal. But if you really study in detail, if you have a building which is rotated 5 degrees, it would make substantial difference in terms of the heat gain on the facade, which principally would make a difference. So what we did was these computer analysis really help us last 30 years, whatever data we have, it would ensure that you are able to get efficient design for a specific plot. What we really do for any office building is what you're really looking for is you want a view from the glass facade. As far as possible, you want indirect sunlight instead of artificial lights. Most of the office building we see is covered by either blinds or roller blinds. So both these are something which you want to avoid. You actually want a glass facade to ensure that the dirts don't get in. You don't want horizontal fins which will collect dust. You don't want glare, and also you don't want direct sunlight. Now, if you are able to achieve direct view completely and also without any glare, it would give you absolute, so that is what you want to achieve. What we did really in terms of analysis is to try and look at, if we take a volume, what are the issues which we can. So if you look at a different time of the day, we have converted, there is a box which is on the right which has no fins. The box in the center has 2 fins, 1 fin in the center, and there are 2 fins. So if you start looking at these solar shelf design, you would realize that you get 18.3% of glare on the ground, on the floor area across 1 year span. And if you have 2 fins, you will get 0.76% of glare at the floor level. So it would suggest that what you want to achieve is to try and use something so that you have minimum amount of glare in terms of the office space, while no obstruction if possible. So what we have tried to achieve is, if you have same thing which is multi-story, what are the differences in terms of the solar analysis in terms of the office space. So one of the result which we got was what is called as ceramic fret. We have used ceramic fret to ensure that whatever glare you get, that is reduced substantially. And where on the north side we have used minimum amount of, so we have used, as you see, a different intensity of ceramic fret. Now ceramic fret is used on a second surface. So if there is a DGU, the external facade is phase 1 of the glass, the second phase has ceramic fret, and those allow minimum amount of heat gain to the glass. and within the office space. So this is how a building looks, where different fret design. So all the glasses are same. There is no change in the glass which is used, but you're able to see a variation in terms of the facade. So there is a design intent which is given, while on the north and north facade there is minimal amount of ceramic fret, while on the southern facade there was maximum amount of ceramic fret used. So these are few images of why we had got the basics done at the entry level and the landscaping. These are the photographs during construction, so and the glazing which is done. One more thing which we do is to ensure that the detail of structure or the facade, which is structural glazing, is detailed out in such a way that it is. So one major thing which all of you need to know is most of the time the glass facade is actually hung. They are not fastened to both the slabs. So all these glass is, so we, in this building it was 4125 millimeter slab to slab. What we had done was a bracket which was selected, which would allow the facade to move 3 dimension. So all the 3 axes it moves. The intent was that whatever building moves because of wind, seismic, or settlement of the building of this height, some part of this building would, the glass facade would remain same and remain at the same position. So there is no leakage, which is one of the major and critical criteria, particularly here in Mumbai. So the basic criteria was that you hang the glass facade from the top. It is only connected to the lower unit, which is also fastened. The lower unit is fastened to the slab. And that would allow that movement to happen, which most of the time people think that the glass facade is fastened every slab, which is incorrect. So this is how the building presently looks. While doing this building, we realized that we still had some amount of glare. Our office is in the same building, so we realized that still there was uh, glare which is coming in. So what we have tried to do is to try and look at another building which is with how do we improve on that. So what you see is there is a retail in the front, the office space, the red is the service squad, and the blue is the parking, which is ramp parking. So if you see this sun path, north is on the right, you would see that this is what throughout the day the shadow pattern happened. So what we did was the southern and eastern facade had denser ceramic fret compared to the north and the west. And we had generated few options in terms of the facade. Client selected the one which is on the right. The one thing which we changed from Ruby was introduced what is called as opaque surface. So there was much denser ceramic fret used compared to what we did in Ruby. That was one. The advantage is that you are able to ensure that less amount of heat is gained. The air conditioning is the major cost in any office building apart from lighting. So that makes substantial difference in terms of the cost which you save on HVAC. What also we did was converted in the whole building only two patterns. So they were standardized glass. It's easier that if there is a breakage, you are able to replace it well. Also, you are able to standardize everything for execution. So what we did was create two, panel type 1, panel type 2, and they were used upside down or straight in different location to ensure that you get a design intent which is different. At the same time, you are able to get uh, the intent of least amount of heat gain wherever you want. So this is how the building was. I mean, this is 3D image. One more thing which we would like to mention is we have been doing the we have been using BIM platform for last more than a decade, and that has substantially helped us in generating not only an efficient amount of drawings but also the design. So our design is done on Revit, which is a BIM platform software, and that makes substantial difference in terms of the way one looks at it, one designs it, and one generates the drawings for the site execution. So we had done this building at Sofitel, which is a 5-star hotel in Bandra complex, which was again done on BIM. The glass also was selected specifically to ensure that you have a very modern and young look, which is what was intended. So this was what was the 3D rendered image. This is what we had, a basic Revit model which you see. This is how the building looks. And this is, so the difference is that there was very little this is other building which we have done near, this is a steel composite building in Mumbai Altmount Road. This is another building which is a steel composite building, about 1.8 million square feet of IT offices with hotel building which is on the right, which is almost complete. What we would like to also show you is the difference in terms of technologies and how the facade makes a difference in terms of the technology. So in the steel composite building, the way facade is installed vis-a-vis in a concrete building, there is a difference in terms of the installation detail. One needs to ensure that you use a proper smoke seal, which detailed out differently. So between the slab, there is a smoke seal which you would ensure that the smoke doesn't pass from lower floor to the upper floor. So in this building, one of the things which we had done was there was a basic design done with the blue. What you see is the core which was intended, while the gray area is the blue is the office area and the gray is the core area which was intended, which you see in the image. What we did was to swap the office area with a core which is in the center. it made substantial difference in terms of the way building was designed, in terms of the cost, also in terms of the view which is all around. So there were views which is different both the sides. Plus the yellow was extended area which they had extra FSI which we were able to use in the lower height of the building. So this is some comparison between concrete and steel, between what difference it made in terms of the building. So right now we'll focus on the facade. The difference here was to ensure that you are able to do things which are differently. Even with a different technology, you can do glass facade, which would have impact, which is substantial, and it would make the difference in terms of the office building, which one is able to use much more efficiently. Of course, we had used some sustainable material. These are all steel with concrete composite columns. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate Geeta Madam also giving me this opportunity to speak here. Thank you so very much.